What's up, YouTube? It's me, Nacarelli, and I am returning to the new shooter series. I got this idea, like I get all my ideas, in my commute to my actual job. New shooter series, aptly titled Buying Your First Gun. I made a video a while back, and it was about going to the gun range for the first time. And it was explicitly made for those who bought a pistol or a revolver or what have you and had never been shooting. And I explained what to do when you go shooting. Well, I'm backing it up even further to deciding that I'm going to buy my first gun. Because in all honesty, I made the going to the gun range for the first time to alleviate anxiety, right? Because let's face it, there's a lot of moments in life, and I find YouTube to be very helpful with this, outside of firearms, where you can watch somebody else who's done it and say, oh, okay, I got it. So I wanted to make a video here related to firearms about purchasing a gun for the first time. Because it's a very exciting and nerve-wracking experience. And I'll aim this, pun intended, I'll target, more puns, this video at those who maybe haven't grown up with firearms. I'm not saying you never shot before, but just haven't grown up with firearms maybe, and you're buying your first gun because you've made the decision whether you're 21, freshly minted, able to buy a gun, or you're 41. Okay, I'm buying a gun. What do I do? So I've created in my mind, hopefully it'll translate to the video in a very organized format, some things I think you should be aware of to get you from the decision of I'm going to buy a gun to getting home and actually leading up to going to the range for the first time. So for our demonstration, I've got my handy dandy new HK VP40 here on the table, and I got my dirty towel back out. It's my towel I used to clean all my guns on. All right, so what I'm simulating here, and the reason I started the video off with the gun by itself is, you've made the decision, I'm going to buy a gun. Step number 1, establish a budget. And that might be hard to think of because you don't maybe quite know what guns really go for. You don't really know all the things you gotta buy. And I'll say that if you watch this video, and I'm sure there's other good videos out there, this should get you to get everything you need and actually save you a few bucks. I don't make a sweeping statement about gun store guys or girls, but I think if you come in with a little bit of advanced knowledge, you'd probably save a few bucks because some stores are better than others. They're trying to sell you stuff at the end of the day, okay? And a lot of the money is made on the accessories, not the markups on pistols. So you've decided you want to buy a pistol or a revolver, or what have you, a handgun, we'll keep it for this discussion. You go to the store. Now, what do you need to know before you go to the gun store? Well, you got to be at least 21 years of age, I believe, in most states. Please don't challenge me. I don't know all 50 states' laws. But check out your local ordinances and what you got to do. I live in Pennsylvania. It's very easy to buy a pistol. New Jersey, where I grew up, is somewhat difficult to buy a pistol. So do some research beforehand and find out what do you have to do to get up to the point where you can legally pay money and take possession of a firearm, because there are different steps for different states. But let's say you got all that out of the way and you've got everything in order and you're going to the gun store for the first time and you intend to walk out with a gun. Establish a budget, number 1. Most firearms cost anywhere from $500 and up. Now, I would say for most new shooters, and depending on your level of cash, I would say you want to be between $500 and $1,500. $1,500 or even $1,000 plus for your first gun's probably excessive. I'd say you stick between the $500 and $1,000 range, and you'll be golden. Now, you can certainly, as an aside here, I got this idea because I got a call from a colleague of mine who wants to buy their first gun, and when I told him that price range, he said, "Oh my God, I thought it was like 150 bucks for a gun. So get your ducks in order. Doesn't cost. You can find a gun for 150 bucks, but if anything in the firearms world, you get what you pay for. Okay. There's some degree of gray there, but let's just keep that as a hard and fast rule for now. You can certainly find guns less than 500, but they're typically going to be pre-owned. And if you're a person who's buying their first handgun, you want to probably eliminate as many variables as possible, and buying pre-owned is not my recommendation. Buy a new gun, get a new manufacturer's warranty. I just think it's the better bet. So you go to the gun store, you get all your ducks in order. You're 6 minutes into your video and you haven't really said anything. You see a gun in the case. You say, okay, I want to see this pistol. Now, I have other videos about the different types of pistols, but let's say you find a pistol that you really like. You've held it, you've done all your research, you've talked to the gun store guy, and you say, I like this gun a lot, and I think this is going to be my first firearm. So you find the price of the gun, and let's say it costs $750. But that's not exactly the budget you need to establish, because you got to get additional things. You can't just buy the gun and walk out the store, and if you're buying for home defense, have the gun itself take care of that purpose. You need to obviously buy ammunition. So when you buy a gun, unless you want a really badass looking paperweight, you need to buy ammunition. Now, there's two types of general ammunition out there. There's what we like to call range ammo, and then there's self-defense ammunition. I happen to have put both in this box. And two different colors here just to highlight the differences. So we've got range ammunition. You see it's a full metal jacket, just like your traditional bullet. And you've got self-defense ammunition with a hollow point. When you buy a gun and you intend to buy some ammunition to go with it, I'd recommend buying self-defense ammo. Because if you're going to keep this ammo for a while, then you want good self-defense ammunition because you're buying the gun for self-defense. When you go to the gun range for the first time and decide you want to shoot your gun, yeah, you can take a couple of these just to get a feel for them, but you're going to ask at the counter for ammunition, and they're going to give you a box of range ammo like this. You don't want to load your guns up with this if you're going to keep it in your nightstand or in a safe in case you have to use it in case a guy breaks in. That's a whole out of the scope of this conversation, but you want to get good to self-ammunition. So a box of self-defense ammo for most of your popular calibers, and those would be 9, 40, 45, probably going to run you for a 50 box, probably around $35, depending on the one you get. So you need to tack on, if I got 750 bucks for the gun, then I'm tacking on, let's call it an additional $35. When you buy the gun, they're going to give you a box for the gun to go in. So they're going to give you your box. They're going to seal it up. You're going to do some forms. And they're going to check your background. So if you have felonies, just stop this video right now and pick a new hobby. But if you've been a law-abiding citizen for most of your life, then you should be fine. You do some forms. They'll explain to you how to do the forms. It's nothing crazy. Not going to call your parents. They're just checking to make sure that you're of sound mind and legal record to own a pistol. So you do your forms. They're going to tell you, okay, I need some money. You give them the money for the gun. So we're at $750 for the gun, $35 for the ammo. What else do you need? You have nothing. Well, again, keeping in mind the budget, if you ever want to shoot the damn thing, you probably want to buy some ears and some eyes. That's what we call this. We call these eyes. They're basic plastic safety glasses. If you have these because you do weed whacking or whatever, great, use them. If not, you can pick up a pair. Let's call that, $7 to $10. So It's $10 there. And then these come in all shapes, sizes. You can get regular ear plugs, or you can get, these are Winchester. You can get headphones. Let's call it $25. I'll just cover the gamut there. So you got $35 for the ammo, $35 for the eyes and ears, and $7.50. If anyone's keeping track, let me know, because I've already lost track. So you got all this good stuff. Just pull the camera back a little bit. You got all this good stuff. And then say, okay, now you can go shooting. Well, how are you going to bring all this to the range? You're just going to carry it in like a moron? No, you need a bag. You need a gun bag so you can take it to and from. And a lot of states are very particular about transporting your firearm. They have their own rules, so make sure you follow closely. But you're going to need a bag. I'm going to take off this stuff. You're going to need a gun bag. This is a cool HK gun bag. And what you do is whatever you think you would do. You put your gun, and you put your ammo, and you put your earphones and your eyeglasses in there, and you carry this to the range. Now, you don't got to go nuts like I did on a gun bag. You can get a good cheap gun bag at the store for, let's call it, $50. This one here is like $200, but that's because I'm a snob and I had to have HK embroidered on it from Heckler & Koch. So you get a gun bag, let's call it $50. You got your eyes and ears for another $35. You got your ammo for $35, and you got your gun for $7.50. You see how this is getting a little bit steeper than you anticipated, but that's the idea. Next, and lastly, I'll say for the major components you have to buy, you have to buy cleaning material. Because if you shoot the gun, it's going to get dirty and you got to clean it to keep it in good working order. I recommend Hoppy's number 9 as a nice cleaning solvent to get all that carbon and lead off. And that's, oh, look at the prices on there, $5. And you'll go through that, over the course of 6 months to a year, depending on how much you shoot. And then you need cleaning materials. Now, you can get a case. They make a lot of good cases. I just have this little nylon pouchy thing. But you'll need bore brushes. I use Q-tips as well to get into the nooks and crannies. And then patches. Most people recommend these patches. And this was $8, these patches. And I'll go into how to clean your guns in a different video. But this has been lasting me almost a year. So for $8, you got a year. And I use a basic toothbrush. So you got your solvent to clean it. You got your actual cleaning tools, bore brushes. You only need one bore brush. I have 2, a soft and a hard one. And basic stuff you can find around your house. Depending on what kind of gun you get, you may need some lubricant. I use this stuff that comes with Sig Sauer pistols, but basic lubricant's fine. You don't need to overlube your guns anyway. This whole package, which you can get in a package, this is just all piecemealed together from stuff I've bought over the years. A good package with your solvent, your lubricants, and all of your brushes you'll ever need. Let's call it another $50 on the high end. So if you add all that together, you're probably, if you're going to get a gun for $750, you probably need to tack on at least another $250 for your accoutrement. You also get holsters if you intend on carrying, but this is, I wouldn't consider this to be in the necessity, so you don't need a holster. You get a holster, $25 to very, very expensive, depending on who you go. This video is running short, so I just wanted to, I'm going to make a second video here about kind of getting home with your new purchase and what you got to do. But first, we've established our budget and picked all the things we need to get. You get the gun, you get your ammo, you get your headphones, your safety glasses, your cleaning materials, and most importantly, a nice bag so that you can put it all together and transport it to and fro and keep everything in one spot. I'll be back with part 2 of buying your first gun.